There's a fascinating new study from Tilburg University that has found that while men suffer adverse psychological consequences from cheating on their partners, women actually show increased self-esteem and life satisfaction after having an affair.
Jesus.
It is amazing. So let's get to the details here. To perform the study, the researchers used data collected from around 850 German adults over the course of 12 years, between 2008 and 2020. What they found was that infidelity may not be the cause of relationship problems. It might be a symptom of relationship problems, to which I say, yeah, absolutely. So both perpetrators and victims of infidelity experienced a decrease in relationship satisfaction and admiration, and an increase in relationship conflict prior to infidelity events. I like the way that they describe it. Perpetrators additionally experienced a decrease in intimacy before they reported having cheated on their partner. I mean, Cenk, so far, I feel like this is common sense and the most obvious thing in the world, right?
I hate it.
Okay, but we haven't gotten to the details yet. I just shared the obvious part. Okay, so before you go off.
No, I hear you.
Before you go off.
I hear you. As you're gonna see, yeah, a lot of it does make sense. And then at the same time, it's super unfair. Okay, so I'll wait.
I love it. Okay, so the researchers discovered that men and women respond differently to having an affair. So this is where it gets juicy. A look at actor outcomes suggests that male perpetrators were more negatively affected by the event than female perpetrators. Female perpetrators even tended to experience a gradual increase, often in the shape of a rebound following pre-event declines in personal well-being after the event.
No, great.
Like they be banging. That's what the event is, okay? Like let's just keep it real. I love that they're trying to keep it profesh. They're like, we can't say banging, so let's just say event. Okay, so after the event, let's continue though. At the same time, the analysis of partner outcomes of perpetrators points to some rebound effects for male but not female victims. For example, male victims experienced an increase post-event rebound in relationship satisfaction, whereas female victims did not, okay? In other words, the women who engage in the infidelity are more likely to feel better about themselves after having the affair, whereas men feel better about their relationship after having the affair, which is super fascinating. And look, I can't really speak to why men would feel better about the relationship with the partner they just cheated on after cheating on them. I can't speak to what I think is transpiring with women here. Because I know that if it's gotten to a point where a woman no longer wants to be faithful to her partner, and this is a blanket statement, I don't think this necessarily applies to every woman who's been unfaithful. But I think for the most part, generally speaking, it gets to that point for a woman when she feels like her needs aren't being met, when she feels like her partner isn't showing her the affection she needs or the intimacy she needs, or her partner is neglecting her. And so it would make a lot of sense if the infidelity suddenly makes her feel like she's being paid attention to, might make her feel good about herself, might make her feel sexy. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what's really happening here. That's just my guess.
Yeah, no, not buying it. Okay, so listen, historically and culturally, women have been shamed far worse than men. It's not even close. And if a woman cheated on a man, it had massive consequences, sometimes dire consequences. In fact, the part in the Bible that I quote often about abortion is about a woman who might have cheated on her husband, and God tells the priest to basically perform an abortion because how dare she even potentially cheat, right? So, and that has been true not just in Christianity, but in almost all the world's cultures. Women are shamed for it, etc. Right? So don't shed a tear for men who historically have cheated nonstop with no similar shaming. Okay.
Yeah. No one's shedding any tears. Don't worry.
No. Hold on. I am about what's happening now, though. So that's your background. Okay. But right now, if you look at popular culture, movies, TV, etc. If a man cheats, it's considered like the worst, horrible, monster, evil, no excuse, no reason that it could possibly make sense, right? But if a woman cheats, it's always like, well, I mean, how was the guy good enough in the relationship? Well, he didn't pay her enough attention. So, well, atta girl, way to go, right? So now you're gonna get angry and you're gonna disagree with me, but I've seen it. I've seen it in movies and TV all the time. So, and then you look at the studies and all of a sudden women feel like, oh, after I cheated, I feel great. Men feel terrible after they cheated. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not really fair. And so cheating's not good in either direction. So I get the phenomenon, but at the same time, there's something wrong here.
Okay, but like it's all about how people feel about themselves or about their situation after they cheat. This is not a story about or a study about societal expectations and how they differ for men or women. This is just about self-reporting, how men and women feel after they've chosen to be unfaithful to their partners, right? And I don't know, like, what do you want to do about it? You can't force women, like, you did something bad and you must feel bad about it. You can't feel good about yourself, ladies. I mean, I don't really know what you're asking.
No. Well, there's two things here. One, no, media definitely affects how people think, right? It's true in politics and it's true in culture. So, and is my suggestion, okay, let's go back to shaming women? No, of course not, right? So first of all, everybody's got their own story and it's not right for any of us to judge any of it, right? And by the way, if you're wondering if this is personal, no, to my knowledge, I don't know that any girlfriend or wife of mine ever cheated. So maybe they did back in the day and I don't know it, and everybody in the comments will be like, oh, I'm sure they did. But my point is, since I don't know it, I'm not bitter about it or anything like that. It's, to my knowledge, it's never happened. So it's not personal to me, okay? But so I don't want you to do like to wag your finger at women. You don't know their situation at all. You don't know their relationship at all. But everybody thinks it's totally acceptable to wag your finger at men. And again, here, I've never cheated on my wife. I've talked in the bonus episode for the members in the past about sometimes that happened when I had girlfriends, I'm honest, right? But never on my wife. So again, it's not personal. But we're gonna go and tell guys, oh, you're evil, terrible, terrible. That's totally okay, totally okay. No, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't, you could feel however you want to feel about men or women who cheat on their partners, right? But again, that doesn't really matter. I think what's interesting about this study is like what drives people to get to a point where they're no longer faithful to their partner. And I think that difference between men and women really does speak volumes here. Women versus men are more likely to mention relationship dissatisfaction as a reason for their affair. And prior research has shown that acts of infidelity committed because of relationship problems can lead to positive psychological outcomes. Potentially, women's affairs are more likely to be a result of partner dissatisfaction, and consequently, the affair may be a wake-up call for their partners, leading to positive behavioral change. So really, the reality of the situation is, by the time it gets to a point where a woman is, most of the time, right, is cheating on their partner, it's because they're already done with the relationship anyway. So the only thing I would say is, no judgment. We're people, we're flawed, we make mistakes. Whether it's a man or a woman, I don't want to be too hard on anyone. We don't know their situation. But with that said, what would be preferable? If you're already at a point where you don't want to be faithful to your partner, get out of the relationship. Be happy. Life is super, super short, and it doesn't make any sense to be in an unhappy relationship. Just get out.
Yeah. So I agree with that.
With whoever you want.
I agree with that 100%. But again, let's talk about if you have a woman who says, well, wasn't happy with the relationship, that's why I cheated, everybody understands, okay? If you have a man who says, well, I was driven to it because of my DNA, people go, oh, boo, that's no excuse, how dare you? But why is there two different standards? They were both driven for whatever reason, and one side is considered monster, and the other side is considered an angel. I don't accept that societal norm. And by the way, if a guy cheats, if a guy cheats because he's unhappy with his relationship, do you think this society will be like, oh, we understand that? No, they'll be like, monster.
Yeah, I think society is overly judgmental and vicious to everyone. Like, that's what I think. I think that you are making your argument on a false premise that like, a woman will declare that she has slept around on her husband, and everyone will be like, oh, congratulations, good for you. No, that's not how it works, Cenk. I'm a woman. I haven't cheated on my partner because, I mean, have you looked at him? But nonetheless, like, I'm just kidding. It has nothing to do with that. People cheat for whatever reason. But nonetheless, like, no, people are vicious, whether it's a man or a woman. People love to judge because it makes them feel better about themselves.
And with that's my point. Yeah, don't judge women, but also don't judge men. That's all.
Fair.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.